The children of New Eden. The azure skies of New Eden stretched endlessly above the thriving human colony, now in its 27th year. Morning light spilled across carefully tended agricultural fields where earth crops mingled with native blue-leaf plants. Governor Elara Chen stood at the observation deck of the colony's administrative tower, watching children stream into the learning center below. Nearly 800 young minds, ranging from toddlers to teenagers, represented the colony's future, the first generation born entirely on this distant world. "Governor, the quarterly reports are ready for your review," said her assistant, handing her a datapad. Chen nodded, smiling as she watched the last stragglers hurry through the learning center's entrance. "New Eden's finest," she murmured. "My daughter says they're starting exobiology today. She couldn't sleep last night. She was so excited." The calm morning shattered as alarms blared throughout the complex. Security Chief Jackson burst onto the observation deck, his face grim. "Governor, unidentified vessels have entered the system. 5 of them. Massive. They're not responding to standard hails." Chen's smile vanished. "Deploy defense protocols. Alert Earth immediately." In the colony's communications center, operators worked frantically at their stations as the main screen displayed 5 massive ships entering orbit. Their hulls gleamed like polished obsidian, angular and predatory. "They're hailing us now, Governor," the communications officer announced. The screen flickered, revealing a humanoid figure with metallic blue skin and eyes that glowed with an internal light. When it spoke, its voice carried a strange harmonic quality. "I am High Commander Vexalia of the Xorian Empire. Your presence in this system is unauthorized. These worlds belong to the Empire by ancestral right. You will prepare for immediate evacuation." Governor Chen stepped forward, her voice steady despite the fear knotting her stomach. "I am Governor Chen of New Eden Colony. We've established legal claim to this world under the Earth Expansion Treaty. We welcome diplomatic relations, but this has been our home for nearly 3 decades. The Xorian commander's eyes pulsed brighter. "Legal claims are irrelevant. The Empire requires this world. You have 48 hours to begin evacuation procedures." The transmission ended abruptly. "Options?" Chen asked, turning to her security team. "Our planetary defense grid isn't fully operational," Chief Jackson replied. "Earth promised the final components next month. We can evacuate to the emergency shelters, but against 5 capital ships." He left the sentence unfinished. Chen activated the emergency communication array, Earth's most advanced technology, capable of instantaneous communication across light years. "This is Governor Chen of New Eden Colony. We are facing an imminent threat from a species identifying themselves as the Xorian Empire. They've ordered our evacuation within 48 hours. Request immediate diplomatic and military assistance." As night fell, the colony leaders debated their limited options. Some argued for immediate compliance, others for attempting further negotiation. Chen ordered evacuation preparations as a precaution while planning another communication attempt in the morning. The attack came at dawn. Without warning, precision strikes hit the colony's power grid, communication relays, and defense installations. Strangely, the residential areas remained untouched. Then, a single devastating blast targeted the learning center. In the emergency bunker beneath the administrative tower, Governor Chen received the horrifying reports. "Casualties?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. 217 children injured, Governor. 42 in critical condition." Chief Jackson paused. "Miraculously, no fatalities. The targeting was precise. They specifically targeted our children," Chen said, her shock turning to cold rage. "Why would they?" "Governor," a communications officer interrupted. "We're getting reports of strange phenomena among some of the injured children. Medical teams are requesting your presence immediately." In the makeshift medical facility, doctors worked frantically to treat the wounded. Dr. Maya Rivera, the colony's chief medical officer, pulled Chen aside. "Governor, you need to see this." She led Chen to a separate ward where a dozen children lay on beds, monitoring equipment surrounding them. These children all show unusual neurological activity after the attack. We've never seen anything like it. On one bed, 10-year-old Mira Harper sat completely still, her eyes closed. Suddenly, objects around her, medical instruments, tablets, even a cup of water, began to float. It started about an hour after the attack, Dr. Rivera explained. And she's not the only one. Some can move objects, others are showing signs of telepathy, and a few seem to be manipulating electronic systems without touching them. Before Chen could respond, Chief Jackson burst into the ward. "Governor, they're sending shuttles down. They're heading directly for the medical facilities. Evacuate these children immediately," Chen ordered. "Get them to the underground shelters, and send another emergency transmission to Earth. Tell them." She looked at Mira, still unaware that she was levitating objects around her. "Tell them the Xorians are targeting our children specifically. They need to understand what's happening here." Thousands of light years away, Admiral Elena Rice was reviewing fleet exercises when the quantum communication alert sounded. The transmission from New Eden played before the Earth Defense Council, its message chilling. Xorians attacking, specifically targeting children, unusual abilities manifesting in survivors, requesting immediate intervention. Admiral Rice stood, her face a mask of controlled fury. For decades, humanity had maintained a careful public image to the rest of the galaxy. A peaceful, somewhat technologically limited species focused on cultural exchange and cautious colonization. Few knew about the massive military fleet hidden throughout the solar system, or the advanced weapon systems disguised as scientific outposts. "How quickly can we deploy the 7th Fleet?" she asked her second-in-command. 6 hours, Admiral. 4 if we prioritize the stealth vessels." "Make it 3, she replied, eyes fixed on the image of injured children. "And include everything. The Xorians have made a grievous error in judgment." As preparations began, Dr. Eliza Moon, Earth's foremost expert on xenopsychology and emergent human abilities, was summoned to the command center. "You've studied theoretical psionic potential in human children," Admiral Rice told her. "I need you on this mission." Dr. Moon reviewed the data from New Eden. "These readings are remarkable. The trauma of the attack may have triggered latent abilities. If the Xorians targeted the learning center specifically, they must have known this could happen. Then they'll learn exactly what happens when you harm humanity's children," Admiral Rice replied, her voice cold with promise. The 7th Fleet, 28 ships of varying sizes, each equipped with technology that Earth had carefully kept hidden from galactic records, prepared for departure. Using classified slip space technology, the journey to New Eden would take only 5 hours instead of the months that conventional travel would require. On New Eden, Governor Chen watched in horror as Xorian shuttles landed near the colony perimeter. Troops in sleek armor began methodical sweeps of the residential areas, moving toward the medical facilities. "They're looking for the children," Chief Jackson realized. "The ones showing abilities." In the hidden underground shelter, Dr. Rivera monitored the affected children as their abilities continued to develop. 12-year-old Jamal could now communicate telepathically with the other children. 8-year-old twins Arya and Aiden had developed a shared consciousness that could interface directly with the colony's computer systems. "They're coming for us," Jamal said suddenly, his eyes wide with fear. "I can hear them thinking. They want to take us away." As Xorian troops closed in on the colony center, a sudden flash of light erupted in orbit. The 7th Fleet had arrived, emerging from slip space directly above New Eden. On the flagship's bridge, Admiral Rice wasted no time. "Establish a protective perimeter around the colony. Deploy medical teams immediately, and open a channel to the Xorian command ship." When High Commander Vexolia's face appeared on screen, Admiral Rice spoke with deadly calm. "This is Admiral Elena Rice of Earth Defense Command. You have attacked a peaceful human colony and deliberately harmed children. This is your only warning. You have 24 hours to withdraw all forces from this system and all other human territories. This is not a negotiation. The Xorian commander's eyes flashed in surprise before the transmission ended. On New Eden's surface, the advanced medical teams from Earth rushed to treat the injured while special forces secured the perimeter against Xorian troops. Dr. Moon headed directly to the underground shelter where the affected children were being kept. As she examined them, her theories were confirmed. The attack has accelerated a natural evolutionary process, she explained to Governor Chen. These abilities were always potential in human DNA, just dormant. The Xorians somehow knew this. As night fell on New Eden, Earth forces established defensive positions around the colony while evacuation of the critically injured began. Admiral Rice studied tactical displays showing Xorian ship movements. They were repositioning, not retreating. They're preparing for battle, she noted. They still think we're easy prey. On the colony surface, more children began manifesting abilities as they recovered from their injuries. Dr. Moon established a secure facility where these children could be both protected and helped to understand their new capabilities. The Xorians wanted something from these children, Dr. Moon reported to Admiral Reyes, and they're not going to leave without trying to get it. As the 24-hour deadline approached, Admiral Reyes prepared for what seemed inevitable. The Xorians had made their choice when they targeted humanity's children. Now they would face the consequences of awakening not just latent abilities in those children, but the full wrath of a species that had carefully hidden its true strength from the galaxy. The first major interstellar conflict involving humanity was about to begin. Humanity unleashed. The 24-hour deadline expired with no sign of Xorian withdrawal. Instead, their ships had taken aggressive formation above New Eden's night side, clearly preparing for another attack. Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge of her flagship, the EDS Defiant, watching the enemy's movements with calculated patience. They're still underestimating us, she observed to her senior staff. They believe our initial response was our full capability. She turned to her tactical officer. It's time to show them what humanity can really do. Activate the HFY system. Throughout the fleet, a specialized AI system came online. Athena, advanced tactical heuristic and enhanced neural architecture, was Earth's most advanced military artificial intelligence, designed to analyze enemy tactics and predict their movements with uncanny accuracy. The system had been developed in secret over decades, another aspect of humanity's capabilities, hidden from the galactic community. HFY Online, reported a smooth feminine voice. Xorian tactical analysis complete. Their ships are moving to create a pincer formation, targeting your defensive perimeter, projecting optimal counter-strategies. On New Eden's surface, Dr. Moon continued working with the children showing psionic abilities. 13-year-old Jamal had become a central figure, his telepathic abilities strengthening hourly. They're scared of us, he told Dr. Moon. Not just Earth forces, they're terrified of what we might become. Can you sense anything specific about their plans? Dr. Moon asked. Jamal closed his eyes. They're bringing more ships. A huge one, like nothing we've ever seen. And, his face contorted with effort, there's someone important watching. Their leader, I think. Dr. Moon immediately relayed this information to Admiral Reyes, who ordered long-range scans of the surrounding systems. Within minutes, the sensor officer confirmed Jamal's vision. Admiral, we're detecting a massive vessel approaching through the adjacent system. Approximately 3 kilometers in length. Energy signatures suggest it's heavily armed. They're dreadnought. Reyes nodded. They're committing significant resources to this conflict. In the colony's secure medical facility, more children were developing abilities. 10-year-old Mira could now not only move objects with her mind, but could create powerful force fields around herself and others. The twins, Arya and Aiden, had progressed from interfacing with computers to actually disrupting Xorian communication systems. They're adapting faster than I anticipated, Dr. Moon reported. The abilities seemed to be responding to the continued threat. Admiral Rice made a decision. Bring the most stable of them to the Defiant. If the Xorians want these children so badly, we need to understand why. And the children themselves may be our best source of intelligence. As Earth engineers worked to restore New Eden's defenses, Governor Chen supervised the evacuation of non-essential personnel. I won't leave, she told Admiral Reyes firmly. This is our home. We'll fight for it alongside your forces. The Xorian dreadnought, named Eternal Dominion, entered the system with an escort of 15 additional warships. From its command center, Supreme Archon Zexkor, ruler of the Xorian Empire, observed the human defenders with growing irritation. These humans continue to resist, he noted to his advisors. Their technology exceeds our intelligence reports. Supreme Archon ventured his science minister cautiously. Our scans indicate the human children are developing abilities at an accelerated rate, if they achieve full potential. They will not, Zexkor interrupted. For full assault, target their defensive emplacements first, then their military vessels. We will take the children alive. As the Xorian fleet moved into attack formation, Admiral Reyes implemented the next phase of Earth's response. All ships execute Operation Thunderbolt. Earth's vessels, previously maintaining defensive positions around the colony, suddenly scattered in what appeared to be disarray. The Xorians pressed their advantage, only to discover too late that the humans had laid a trap. Stealth vessels, previously undetected by Xorian sensors, emerged from hiding and launched precision strikes against the enemy's weapon systems. Athena's voice remained calm as she coordinated the complex maneuvers. Xorian shields weakening in sections 37 through 42. Targeting solutions uploaded to strike team vessels. On the Defiant's secure deck, Jemmel sat with 4 other children who had demonstrated the strongest abilities. As Earth forces engaged the Xorian fleet, Jemmel suddenly gasped. They're desperate now. The leader, he's ordering them to use some kind of special weapon against the colony. Mira, sitting beside him, opened her eyes wide. I can see it. It's designed to change people somehow, to break their minds. Admiral Rice received this warning and immediately ordered additional defensive measures around the colony. They want to capture the children with abilities, but they're willing to neutralize the rest of the colonists if necessary. As the battle intensified, a surprising transmission reached the Defiant. It came not from the Xorians, but from a vessel lurking at the edge of the system. This is Captain Krellvorn of the Centauri Resistance. We have been monitoring your conflict with the Xorians. We wish to offer assistance. The Centauri, a species with luminous skin and 4 arms, had been conquered by the Xorian Empire centuries ago. Their resistance movement had fought from the shadows, never before revealing themselves to other species. The Xorians have subjugated dozens of worlds, Captain Krellvorn explained. When we detected their attack on your colony, we hoped you might succeed where we have failed. Your defense has exceeded our expectations. Why would the Xorians target our children specifically? Admiral Rice asked. Because they fear what humans may become, the Centauri captain replied. According to our intelligence, Xorian scientists detected unusual potential in human DNA, something they call the ascension gene. Their studies suggested that human children, under certain conditions, could develop abilities beyond any species in the galaxy. They sought to prevent this by capturing or eliminating those with the strongest potential. As this revelation spread through Earth's command, the battle reached a critical point. The Xorian dreadnought launched its specialized weapon, a massive pulse of energy aimed at the colony. Before it could reach its target, Mira stood on the Defiant's bridge, her small hands extended. A shimmering field of energy erupted from her, channeling through the ship's systems and expanding to create a massive shield that absorbed the Xorian weapon. Impossible, whispered the Xorian Supreme Archon as he watched his ultimate weapon dissipate harmlessly against the child's defense. Taking advantage of the Xorian's shock, Admiral Rise launched Earth's final counterstrike. With HFY's guidance and the Centauri's intelligence on Xorian weaknesses, precision strikes disabled the Dreadnought's primary systems. "Open a channel to the Xorian command," Admiral Rise ordered. Supreme Archon Zexkor appeared on screen, his glowing eyes dimmed with the knowledge of defeat. "This is Admiral Rise of Earth Defense Command. Your forces are disabled, your weapon neutralized. You attacked a peaceful colony and deliberately targeted children. Now you face humanity's judgment." Behind her stood Jamal, Mira, and the other children with awakened abilities, their presence a statement more powerful than words. "These children you sought to destroy have helped save us today," Rise continued. "They represent humanity's future, a future you tried to prevent. Here are our terms. The Xorian Empire will immediately withdraw from all human territories. You will release all Centauri worlds and any other species you've subjugated. A neutral zone will be established between our territories, monitored by joint patrols. And if we refuse?" the Supreme Archon asked, though his tone suggested he already knew the answer. "Then what you've seen today was merely a glimpse of humanity's capabilities," Rise replied. "We remained peaceful not from weakness, but by choice. You have removed that choice." As the transmission ended, Dr. Moon approached the children. "You've all been so brave," she said gently. "But you deserve childhoods, not war. We'll help you understand these new abilities, but they don't define you." In the days that followed, the Xorian Empire withdrew its forces, not just from New Eden, but from 3 other systems where they had been probing for human weaknesses. The Centauri resistance emerged from hiding, joining with 6 other subjugated species to form a coalition against their former oppressors. On New Eden, reconstruction began immediately. The Learning Center would be rebuilt, stronger than before. Governor Chen stood with Admiral Reyes, watching his children, both those with new abilities and those without, played together in a newly created park. "They underestimated us completely," Chen observed. "They thought attacking our children would break us. A fundamental misunderstanding of human nature," Rise agreed. "When threatened, most species retreat to protect their young. Humans advance to defend them." As Earth's fleet prepared to return home, leaving a permanent defense force at New Eden, news of the conflict spread throughout the galaxy. The carefully maintained image of humanity as a peaceful, somewhat primitive species had been forever changed. Now, the galaxy knew the truth. Beneath humanity's diplomatic exterior lay a determination and capability that made them a force to be respected, and a defender of those in need. The children of New Eden, once targets, had become symbols of humanity's potential. And as Jamal, Mira, and the others learned to control their new abilities, they carried with them the most important lesson from the conflict. True strength comes not from power, but from how one chooses to use it. In the vast chamber of the Galactic Council, representatives from 100 species debated the recent events. The Xorian delegate stood isolated, his former allies now keeping careful distance. A new species took its place at the council table. Humanity, no longer hiding its true nature, but not flaunting its strength either. Ambassador Chen, once governor of a small colony, addressed the assembly. "We come not as conquerors, but as neighbors. Attack us, threaten our children, and you will face our full might. Seek cooperation, mutual respect, and you will find no better friend in the galaxy." The message was clear. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath at what would come next.